Hello, and welcome back to another video. Today, we will be going over a different topic. We will be discussing the Battle of Regillus, which was the first major Roman battle that expanded the Roman borders. But before we start, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And turn on that notification bell so that you're notified when we next upload. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. This was, of course, though after a lot of politics and conflict between these Italian tribes that lead to this battle, such as the siege of Rome in 508 BC, which was precipitated by the overthrow of the king of Rome Tarquin and the establishment of the Roman Republic. After the failure of the siege of Rome in 508, he went to Tusculum and enlisted Mamilius in his efforts to regain the throne in Rome. Mamilius began a diplomatic effort to get the cities of the Latin League on his side and to move against Rome. There was a war scare in 501, but Mamilius, sensing some shakiness among his allies, decided to back off. Things were more solid around 496, and Mamilius and Tarquin gathered up the Latin states into war, attacking the town of Fidne. In response, the Romans mobilized for war. They named Aulus Postumius Albus dictator, and he marched out to meet the Latin army. He found them outside of Lake Regillus, and the two sides clashed. On the Roman side, the dictator Postumius led the Roman infantry, while Titus Abusius Elva was Magister Equitum, or Master of a Horse. The Romans had approximately 24,700 soldiers, 23,700 infantry, and 1,000 cavalry. Compared to the Latin leagues, who were at a great advantage, boasting 40,000 infantry and 3,000 in cavalry, meaning the Romans were outnumbered by around 20,000 men. Leading the Latin army was the seventh and last king of Rome, Lucius Tarquinius Superbus, who had been exiled in 509 BCE, or otherwise known as Tarquin the Proud due to his reign, which was described as tyrannical and due to the fact that he had obtained kingship through the killing of his older brother and wife, followed by the assassination of his predecessor Servius Tullius, which led to the abolition of the Roman kingdom and the start of the Roman Republic. Alongside Tarquin stood his only son at the time, Titus, and son-in-law Octavius Mamilius, who was the dictator of a neighboring tribe by the name of Tusculum. Their goal was to retake the Roman throne once and for all. The battle opened with a Roman attack against the Latin center, led by the best horsemen under the dictator. In the fighting, Titus was grievously wounded with a javelin and retired from the field. This caused the Latins in the center to start to give way, and they only stopped when troops from the flanks came in to give reinforcement. Mamilius' Latin troops attacked, were driven back, stopped a Roman counterattack, then charged once more. Mamilius wounded the Roman commander on his flank, only to be slain in return just a little bit later. Over on the other flank, Sextus Tarquinius gave as good as he got, holding his own. It was the action on Mamilius' flank that got the ball rolling. The Latins launched a vicious counterattack, killing the Roman second in command, and then his replacement. These losses caused the Romans on this flank to flee, and Postumius had to dismount his best horsemen to go to that flank and stop the Latin assault. While that happened, the other Roman flank began to give way, and Postumius had to lead a personal counterattack to stop them. This attack cracked Sextus' men, and they fled. Postumius carried the counterattack into the flank of the Latin center, and then into the rest of the Latin army as it broke their morale, leading to them fleeing the battlefield. The rout and pursuit nearly annihilated the Latin army. Out of 43,000 men, fewer than 10,000 returned home, and Mamilius was not among them. Victory, though, did not come without a heavy price, as the Roman army suffered thousands of losses too. And just like that, the victory was to the Roman Republic. This led to the Treaty of Cassius. The year after the Battle of Lake Regillus, Tarquin died in Cumae. Without him or his sons or Mamilius around to stoke up the Latins, the various cities of the League tried to repair their relationship with Rome. In 495, the Volsci tried to get the League to sign on for another war with the Romans. Rather than do so, the Latins decided to take the ambassadors prisoner and delivered them to the Romans, warning them of the coming attack so the Romans could defeat it. The next year, the various Latin towns gathered up some money and offered a gold crown to the Romans to place in the temple of Jupiter Optimus Maximus, ultimately causing the Latin League to fall under the Roman Republic.